Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talking All Things. Today, we are celebrating a month of season 25 being out on Blu ray.
Well, officially, I suppose.
Officially, yeah.
Because
Some of
these
us
things
got it a
come like
little
a
bit
couple of
earlier.
days before. Yeah. That is what it is.
So, we'll be talking at All Things Special Edition, answering is it the best collection set? If you are to dive into the collection stuff and you haven't yet, which is bizarre because we're pretty much halfway through the range, is this an ideal jumping on point?
Yeah, interesting questions there.
Hmm.
So, hello to everyone in the chat. We are live once again. It's been a little while, hasn't it?
It's been a while, yeah.
And I'm sure people in the chat have been waiting a little while as well because, sorry, we are a bit late.
Yeah,
Probably
standard
the
standard
latest.
stuff. It's
Probably
all
the
my
latest
fault.
we're in a
It's
bit.
all my fault.
Odd.
I
He's
apologize.
had important life stuff going on, so
Big boy stuff.
yeah. I mean, how has your life been as of late? I mean, we talk about this stuff
Yeah,
a lot, but because we don't go live as often now, we don't quite
Mhm.
have that same life updates that we used
Yeah.
to give.
Um,
What's tingling your molecules lately, or just what's going on in general?
well, I've got a new laptop at the minute, and I feel like the 14th Doctor entering the TARDIS for the first time just go, oh, it's all new, shiny, and exciting. So apologies if I sound a bit different. I've not got my usual mic set up for that. So back to tingling my molecules in a very exciting way. I saw A Christmas Carol with Colin Baker and Peter Purvis last week.
Oh, very nice.
And Tom Baker in video cameo form. That put me in the festive mood. Colin's a brilliant Scrooge. And Peter Purvis has still got it, yeah. It was like listening to a live Big Finish. Really?
Was it another one of those audio ones rather
Yes, you had somebody doing like the Foley and all that, and I was like, this is
wonderful.
This is like being back at Cadogan Hall.
Oh, I walked past there last week, funnily enough.
Oh, nice.
Me and a friend headed into London, and we walked the entirety of the Circle line, like going from station to station up top. Just curious to see how long it would take us. See the sights of London that we wouldn't usually see. And yeah, in fact, we got it all done. Was just under 22 miles in the end.
Wow.
Lots of steps.
Wow.
It's the sort of weird thing that we like to do to keep ourselves busy. But no, it's good. And yeah, it was just funny walking past that because that's obviously just on the Circle line, isn't it? That's what.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But no, that was a nice little event. I mean, the chat's been popping off a lot while people have been waiting for us.
Hopefully you've been keeping yourselves entertained.
Yeah. I did see Hoovier mention earlier about my Buffy watch day because I've recently started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a 90s, early 2000s TV show featuring Anthony Stewart Head. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
It's become like your new thing, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's sort of been delaying season 25 a bit because it's like, do I want to stick on Happiness Patrol or do I want to do Buffy the Vampire? I probably got through an entire season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the time it took me to get through Happiness Patrol, to be honest. That's it's giving you an idea of where the stream's going to go when we get to that story. But yeah, I mean, I've got 2 episodes left of season 3 at the moment. There's 7 seasons in total, so still got a while to go. But yeah, flying through it, having a really good time with it. It's great stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have a long form series to get into again because TV nowadays you don't have as much of this. It's all your 6, 8, 10 episode events all on streaming and stuff, which I mean I like, but it's nice having a different kettle of fish, I suppose, in the form of Buffy to get into and yeah, really get into. That's it. I mean, that should keep me busy for a little while. But how about you, entertainment-wise? What's been tingling your molecules?
Just a load of Big Finish, really.
Ah.
Watched Rings of Power season 2, which was a lot better compared to the first season. Become a bit
came
of
out a little while ago, didn't it?
I think
too
it was
over
late
the
August,
summer
I
or
think.
something. Yeah.
And I think I started watching it maybe start of October, September time. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, that's one I've not really looked into, to be honest.
And I've just started reading The Fellowship of the Ring, so that's probably going to take me a while. And I feel like a educated person by reading that.
Is that your first time reading it then?
I read The Hobbit, and I'm a massive fan of the films. So it's like, it's time to read the books.
Yeah, I had a good time reading The Hobbit.
Yeah, Hobbit's a fun
while back. Yeah, I never went on to Lord of the Rings Day.
I mean, the first 20 pages are literally about the English language, on how there was like printing errors. You're like, just let me get to the Hobbit, please. I just want to start going on an adventure. I don't want to read about how Tolkien had an argument about how you spell dwarfs.
As you do.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, I'm sure.
Was a different time.
But yeah, a sophisticated man, I was reading that.
Ben's all cultured, grown-up's a stylish one.
I am. I should put my glasses on.
Anyway, hello, stylish one. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you again.
Hello.
Hooving with Small Collection as well. Loki blamed Game of Thrones and Netflix for this new wave of TV we're in. Yeah, it's got its highs, but also, yeah, certainly, it needs that variety a bit more. And there are still shows like that go for their 20-odd episode seasons a year. But yeah, it seems a lot of it now is always more film-like in its production, isn't it? They do the whole show, then they do go through the post-production, and they wait to see how the first season goes down before they commission a second one, and then they have to wait for the stars to be ready again for it.
I think Netflix is just do a first series, kill it.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was kind of successful, but we've killed it.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just sitting around there on streaming services. I'm watching it through Disney Plus. These things do get quite a lot of views because people do look for this kind of show that they can just go, oh, 100-odd episodes. I might as well start that. And that's sort of what needs to happen with these shows on Netflix, is they need that time to build up that accumulation of episodes, that audience, get the ball rolling a bit for it to snowball, rather than going all out with huge budgets on a first season. And if it's not the next Stranger Things, then it gets killed.
I think that's kind of what's happening with, I guess, the Doctor Who Disney deal, that they're going to wait for season 2, see how that performs as well. Even though
I suppose that is different because it's not them who's producing it. They're not putting a huge amount of money into it.
Yeah, it's a small amount for them, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And also going for 2 seasons at once rather than a full, just a full 1 season is a bit different.
But I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure we'll be fine with it.
I miss when shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got time to grow and not be cancelled if they had issues at the start. Yeah, agreed to that as well, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lived its life on the edge. That was constantly under threat of getting cancelled until by the time they got to season 7, they said, right, you know what, just let us end here because we don't like... we just want to give it a proper conclusion and not live expecting it to go out, because funnily enough, they expected the 5th season to be the last. They wrote the season finale as a series finale because they were certain that they weren't going to get a 6th season, and then suddenly they got one. It's wild. You can tell when watching season 4 and 5. Yeah, definitely stylish one. But, yeah, there is some crossover there with Buffy as well because it's both Whedon shows.
I guess talking about a season living on the edge, season 25, the penultimate season, on the cusp of Doctor Who going bye-bye. Got the Blu-ray.
We have got the Blu-ray. We've got so many of these Blu-rays now. It's getting...
Is it 16? Is it 16 of them?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's 10 left to go. I mean, I've run out of space on the shelf now. Mine is just sort of the recent ones are just sitting around by the TV.
I mean, that's good because it gives you options like, oh, I'll stick that on, or I didn't quite finish that set. I'll finish that off by watching those.
Yeah. So I just need to get more space at this point.
That's it. That's it.
Bigger set of shelves or some wall-mounted shelves so I can stick them up there or something. I don't know. I just need to get more storage. I mean,
it's sort of future-proofing it, isn't it? As well, I think that's the thing, trying to future-proof the collection. So, like, I've got room to put all these together in one place because right now it's just like find a home. There's a bit of space there. I'll bung them there for now. But
yeah, I mean, anyone who's watched your collection videos knows that.
Yeah, it ain't good. It ain't looking good, Chief.
Your house is bulging at the seams.
Literally, it's like the land of fiction, and it's just going to be bursting of Doctor Who merch for the window soon.
Oh, that's Crooked Man, isn't it?
Yeah, Crooked Man. Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, we're going for a Slice of Big Finish reference there, not a Mind Robber reference. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it was nice getting this one. We've now got McCoy complete, first Doctor.
Yeah.
And Troughton's still not started yet.
I mean, technically, Troughton started. He's just on every other
not
set.
His own era. Yeah, he's on 3 sets currently. None of them from his own era, though.
I think the War Games and Colours thrown a bit of a spanner in the works for season 6 coming out now.
Yeah.
Because would you sort of release War Games in colour? Because there's going to be a home media release of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go, hey, buy the Blu-ray of it again. So I feel like it's a bit much double dipping in 1 year. Because I thought next year would be season 7 and season 6.
Yeah, I feel like most people are pretty certain that season 7's up next. Get some other perks on the shelf. Yeah.
It should be great because it's such a good season.
Yeah. I mean, season 6, looking at the Troughtons, does feel like it makes the most sense.
Yeah, because if you look at 4 and 5,
already been picked.
Yeah,
and that's all. It lines up with that as being the closest Troughton to being complete.
And plus, we've just had the animations for majority of these, so I think it might be a little bit too soon for people to double dip. But I'm sure if you've got the sort of vanilla release, you'll be able to get. I reckon the color will be exclusive to those sort of initial releases, and the black and white will be the standard for the collection sets, really.
Yeah, that's true. It depends how long the colorizations go on for as well, doesn't it? Like, say if Dalek Invasion of Earth is the next one up, it's already too late for that collection release. Yeah, I think that's just going to be the case, isn't it? We can never accept that these will be the complete collection. There's always going to be something new that will come along at some point.
Yeah, because it's like
when it comes to those black and white ones.
If they animate the Crusade, do we take out that collection disc and be like, well, we put the animated disc in and that's it, really? Because if you look at Celestial Toymaker, that's got a collection feature on it with like the escape room.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose just because they're producing it all at the same time, aren't they? So they're having that those bits of crossover. I suppose as well, it's so that they can record this stuff with these 60s cast members and not have to sit on them for ages. Obviously they want them out there. They want them making money rather than just sitting in an archive waiting to be released at some point.
Yeah, because I'm sure they must have sort of recorded a load of stuff with Tom for like season 13. It'd be wild if we get season 13 next year.
Yeah. Although it is 50 years of season 13 next year, so...
Yeah, but do they want to burn through like 2 big heavy hitters if season 7 is next as well? Like that.
Yeah. They're running out of heavy hitters.
Unless they do like 7 and 21.
Yeah. But then you're out of 80s.
Yeah, it's a sticky place now, isn't it, for the black and white stuff? Because are we just going to get all the black and white stuff now?
Yeah, it sort of
They don't
reminds me of
start.
the end of the DVD range. Hopefully, they have stylish range. I'm just tripping over words at the moment. Stylish One has just said the DVD range was designed to start and end with popular seasons, and Blu-ray seems to have followed similar. Yeah, because they were holding on to Terror of the Zygons, weren't they, until the end there? Which, I mean, it makes sense sales-wise. If you want to keep these things afloat, you're going to have. You don't want to burn through all your popular sellers first and then just be left with the ones that, won't hit as hard, because then, if things do really not sell that well, then people aren't going to fund anymore and it's going to be left incomplete. Whereas spread them out a bit and you keep that funding coming in for the whole, range. They got their special editions as well to keep them going, didn't they? And they had that trick of putting stories together in box sets that didn't necessarily make any sense, but
like Earth stories, and that makes zero sense. That's such a wild card.
Probably wouldn't have sold well at all if they just went out on their own.
Yeah, we had like the Myths and Legends set, which Time Monster, Underworld, and Horns of Nimon, like arguably 3 very weak stories, but hey, buy them.
It's got a theme.
Yeah, they really got us there.
Yeah. Season 3 will probably be the last, I feel. Yeah, that one does look like the least.
Season 1, actually. Like, we still don't have any proper update on An Unearthly Child.
Yeah. Although it's funny, though, talking about, you look at Season 3, it may be the most incomplete ratio-wise, but it still has more episodes than Seasons 23 to 26.
Wow, okay.
Like, there are only 14 episodes on each of those seasons. Season 3 has more than 14 episodes surviving. So you got 1 episode of Galaxy 4, 3 episodes of Dalek's Master Plan, the entirety of the Arcs, that's another 4 episodes, the Celestial Toy Maker, 1 episode, all 4 episodes of what is it? Gunfighters, and then all 4 episodes of the War Machines. So if I've counted right, that's 17. Which, so more episodes than a McCoy season, and they sell those for 55 quid now. Yeah, I mean, how did we feel about that, paying that price for just technically 14 episodes? Obviously, you got loads of special features as well.
Well, you've got so many versions of the stories as well, so it's practically double, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they went all out with these special editions, like updated special effects. All out on some of them. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But that was wild to see, though, because we're used to just getting the one story that gets, the special edition treatment now, or even just updated special effects treatment. But no, with this, it was all of them. And I wonder if that was helped by the fact that it's a shorter season.
And I wonder, because I imagine the trailer budget goes into that release as well, and this having already pre-recorded trailer,
it works surprisingly well, doesn't it?
I think it's one of the better trailers in the range, really.
Yeah, it's like something you don't.
It's
feel
simple.
Like people have come to expect a mini-sode at this point.
Yeah,
which they don't need to be.
I mean, for me, I just skim through it. I want to know, okay, what's new, what we got. I just want to get to that. I'm like, yeah, it's cool seeing these characters back, but that's Big Finish's job. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what loses me on them, really, is that Big Finish has already done this for a lot of them anyway. And so I don't really get that magic out of it when they feel like fairly low budget things.
I mean, I like when they go down sort of the sketch route, like season 14 of like the Vok cleaning robot and that, stuff like that.
I mean, Javanka Airlines.
Yeah, and like Galactic Glitter Tour, stuff like that. You're like, oh, it's just very direct, straight to the point, bit of fun going, this is what the season is. Here's some new stuff. Great.
Yeah. It's often, they don't quite hit the emotional beats that they seem to think they are for me.
Yeah.
When they're trying to do the mini-sode thing. The problem is, how do you do missing stories with no telesnaps? And that's only a couple, isn't it? But I suppose unless you do just do it as an audio. Right. We go the loose cannon route.
Yeah. Or they could just, like you say, just maybe put like the Target novelization as well.
Yeah.
Fun little curio. Like, hey, have that.
Sock puppets. Yeah,
that's it. Stop motion with your figures. You can do that.
Not even stop motion, just have someone hold the figure. Like,
I said, my boy.
Yeah. Like Moffat in the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just RTD and Russell just recreating the stories of the figures. Russell with his Eagle Moss collection.
Ooh. Before we talk about season 25 in terms of the stories, how have you been doing with the special features?
I've only done the one big feature, I feel, of this set, which is Looking for Dursley, which of course is the one what pulls on your heartstring. I feel like that's a given with these collection sets. There's something what will break you, but also uplift you.
Yeah, I mean, that was fascinating looking into his sadly short life and, career, personal life. Yeah, never knew that he was born and grew up on the Isle of Man. Never knew about homosexuality being against the law there until I think it was,
it's quite late on,
the
wasn't
90s or maybe even 2000s. I'm going to look that up actually, because that was shocking to hear.
Yeah.
When was
and it was just nice having it was sort of an uplifting thing, wasn't it? Because it was like there were loads of Dursleys around at that time, and it was just sort of putting a spotlight on that sort of sad event, because obviously that's the thing what sort of cast a shadow on the whole documentary, isn't it? That sort of whole crisis. But I think there was a lot of light shone on it, and we got to know Dursley more as a person, really, and the connection with Nicola Bryant. And that was really
that was unexpected.
Neat, yeah. Like that was such a little surprise, really, what you didn't expect to have within the feature.
Yeah, it was 1992, by the way.
Okay, that's very late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Like while he was off doing, Remembrance of the Daleks, it's still illegal there. I mean, that's part of the reason he got out of there, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, like 16, didn't he? Moved to set up life in London, yeah. Crazy to think.
I mean, it's just amazing to hear about him as a person, how, much confidence he had.
Yeah,
a big personality, completely different from the Mike we see on screen. Yeah, it's funny watching the behind the sofa, seeing Sophie going, "Oh, he plays straight very well, doesn't he?"
Yeah, really well. And just having like the home video, like it felt very personal. Family allowing us into that. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it does hit hard, and I think it's important for that story to be told, but also for his life to be celebrated, because it's not just a look at, oh, isn't it sad that he died so young? It's not just a tragic story. It's trying to tell a good story as well. Shine a light on the lesser known parts of his life, and the happy times he did have, the happiness that he brought to others as well, because it seems he had a wide social circle. He knew a lot of people, and they all had wonderful things to say about him. So I mean, I highly recommend watching that one if you haven't already, because it makes you feel a lot across the whole spectrum of emotions. Yeah. I think those looking for documentaries there's something special. I mean, there's something that the DVD range didn't quite go in for. It feels.
It started with, was it the Censorites of Peter R. Newman? I think that was the first of its kind.
Yeah.
And
but
then
I think they've become a bit more since then.
Yeah, I think they sort of took the original format and expanded on it by sort of shining a light on, I guess, lesser known figures, really, and highlighting them on how important they are, not only in Doctor Who, but in the grand scale of other things that they've done. Like the Graham Williams one was such a surprising watch, really.
They are things you could easily get away with putting on TV, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, easy, yeah.
Yeah. You know, like Sunday afternoon viewing of sorts. It's a different brand of TV that I think gets overlooked, but it has a place, and
yes,
the production values are there 100%. I think it's just that thing of, it's Doctor Who would want to watch that,
but it's so much more than that. That's just a little part of it. It's just the connection to Doctor Who.
That's just the jumping on point for a lot of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think especially the ones where you have to actively go searching, or not you, Toby Haydock.
We go on a journey. We go on the search.
We go with it with them.
Yeah.
But like the David Whittaker one, where they're looking into old letters that were sent and stuff, and old scripts to find out different facts about him and everything. I mean, things like that are, there's lots of TV shows like that, aren't there? But it's just because it's Doctor Who, it doesn't.
It's like, who do you think you are, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's not really that.
Because sadly, the person who it's about is long gone often. I mean, I did, as I mentioned, already check out the Behind the Sofa of Remembrance.
It does something different, doesn't it, this Behind the Sofa, because it has different contributors in each one. As such.
Yeah, you've got your Nicola and Bonnie together. You got Janet, Sarah, and Wendy together, which is a classic trio.
You've got to have that, yeah.
I think you've got to have Janet and Sarah in here in some form or another, whether it's a Peter or Wendy or someone else. I think they're a mainstay of the Behind the Sofa range at this point. But then with McCoy and Sophie, you've got a different guest from each story coming in for each Behind the Sofa. So it's Karen Gledhill for the first one. And I can't remember who it is for the next three, but
I think it's like Sheila Hancock.
Yeah.
Who's
now doing a big finish with McCoy, isn't she?
Yeah. And I was going to say Jessica Martin, but yeah, she's Mags. She's great show. I can't.
Yeah, it's Mark Hardy.
Oh, bit of a curveball that. I'd have gone for David Banks. Maybe he wasn't available.
Poor Mark.
Oh no, leader.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mark Hardy.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, now you mention it, that seems right.
Yeah, so I mean, I wonder if that's something that they'll do for more of these. I suppose it depends on the length of the season as well.
I think that they've sort of experimented with that from day one, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it also depends how many actors there are surviving at this point. I mean, when it comes to an 80s one, it's a bit easier. But as we say, we're almost out of 80s ones.
Yeah, because season 7 is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's only really John Levine, isn't it?
Are you going to get John Levine and Jeffrey Beavers?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be quite nice to have like Katie and Daisy Ashford and maybe even Sean Pertwee. That would be nice.
You had Sadie for one of the Toms, didn't you? So
yeah,
Daisy on there for season 7.
Yeah,
I mean, Katie would make sense still because John is her Doctor Doctor, and she did do a Tom, didn't she? Was it season 17?
Yeah, she did with yeah, she did. Yeah, she did 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she did. Did she do 15 actually? Because there was one where she was with Matthew Waterhouse. I think it was Colin and.
Yeah, it was Colin and Matthew for
17.
17, wasn't it? So yeah,
that was
50.
I feel like. Yeah, because I think there was one where it was Katie and Matthew Waterhouse.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, who else? I mean, Janet and Sarah, as we said, they're going to be watching season 7, aren't they? No stopping there.
They've
that'd be interesting with Wendy as well, wouldn't it? Because that's just after she left. It'd be interesting for her to see.
Maybe Fraser and Wendy. Sort of. Here's what you missed out on. Good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you could have been in if you didn't leave. Christopher Benjamin's still around.
Oh yeah.
Inferno.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. There's certainly options there for it. I mean, stick Tim on there. Why not?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was season 15. Katie and Matthew Waterhouse.
There we go. I mean, they did have Sacha Dhawan and
on season 8. Angie Mahindra.
Yeah, that's it. They had them both together because it was in a bubble anyway. That was like height of COVID. That one was filmed.
Yeah.
It's funny looking back to those times, what limits they had on them for the collection. So
but they made it work. They made it work.
Yeah. It's funny you can track which order they came out with just by looking through that and seeing where the separators are.
Yeah.
Shall we discuss Remembrance of the Daleks Special Edition?
Yeah.
Or Remembrance of the Daleks itself as a story. How do you feel about this one?
It's one of those stories where you've watched it so much and you know it's good, but it doesn't quite have the same shine as it once had, I feel. Like you still recognize that it's a classic. Yeah, you've overwatched it, you've over-egged it. And you know the beats and you just watch and you just go, yeah, it's good. But it's not
drift off during it if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Like you pick up your phone thinking, oh, I know what happens in this scene. I can have a quick look at something. And then 5 minutes later, you've been doom scrolling and you've lost all attention to the poor story.
But at least with the special edition, you're sort of watching out for the new little bits.
Yeah. It's gave me hope for a fresh view into it, which I think sometimes these special editions do, or even just, having it on Blu-ray. I think seeing that quality upgrade.
It's that reappraisal, yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is a quality upgrade here in terms of the visual quality.
I mean, I think the interesting thing with watching this season back now, it's made me go, is season 26 my favorite McCoy still? Because watching this again, I found a new love for this season. I liked it, but having watched it, I'm like, oh, it actually is a really good season.
Ooh, if anything, I might have gone in the opposite direction.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
But I really like, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm unsure. Part of me feels like maybe all 3 McCoy seasons are on a par with each other now.
Wow.
I feel like each has 2 stories I really like, and then 2 that I'm left a bit more cold by.
Okay.
I mean, maybe not quite with 26. But yeah, certainly 24 and 25. I feel that way. I still think season 24 is my favourite of Super Small Collection. So there you go.
Wow, that's a hot take. Wow, but hey, it's all good.
Meanwhile, Sam says, I had a dream a few days ago where I met Bill and Ben the Powerpot Men. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. Not Bill the Doctor Who companion and Ben the YouTuber.
But Remembrance Special Edition, I don't think it worked.
No, I think you've got a pretty solid end product with the original anyway. Some of the updated special effects worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I think the Dalek going up the stairs is gorgeous.
I think the model work when the Hand of Omega's launched, that's great.
Yeah.
But it kind of it sort of picks its moment when to do it, because I guess the model work is so good in the McCoy
the original
series
one.
anyway.
It's like, yeah, you can see some improvements, but how many improvements can you see? Yeah, it's like some of it's neatly polished. It's mainly like the extended scenes. Some of the, I think part 1's pretty strong for it.
I think part 1's the best, and I think that's the only one of the special editions from Remembrance I'd go back to.
Yeah,
because it's got some great stuff with Rachel and Alison. I think their characters shined a lot more in this new edit.
Yeah, definitely throughout it as well. There's a wonderful scene. I can't remember whether it's part 2 or 3, where they're in the van with Mike and talking about Ace and the Doctor, and Mike's all like, "Well, I wouldn't want her to be foreign, would I?" Like talking about Ace, and they've got like this look of disappointment there in him. That I think it's almost a shame was lost, because it's showing their side of that story.
Yeah,
because in terms of the broadcast version, when it comes to Mike's racism really and xenophobia, him being part of the association and everything, like a lot of that's mainly shown through Ace's point of view. And the other characters almost seem ambivalent to it, like they're not actively participating in the racism as far as we know, but they never seem to be challenging it either, which I mean is ultimately what that was like in the period as well. Sometimes it's not everyone was actively racist, but you had enough people ambivalent to it that it did have that effect, that signs like the one that's hung in the bed and breakfast could be hung without anyone calling it out, even if people like Rachel and Alison didn't have that strong opinion against it. It didn't stop it being hung there. Yeah, so I think it's nice to have a bit of input from them, a bit of input from characters of that era. Yeah, I mean, it's what the whole story is about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I think it's nice that a little bit of that gets added back in the special edition. But for the most part, you've got little scenes like, the extension of the cafe scene.
Oh, that was rough. You're like, I can see why it was cut, because it just added nothing. And I think that's the thing with these special editions. Like, Remembrance is already perfect as it is.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre when you got the little girl in the window and he's like, adds 0.
I absolutely love that scene in the original. I think it is my favorite scene of McCoy as the Doctor. Him talk about huge boulder dropped in a lake, ripples merge, rebound off the banks in unforeseeable ways. It's ultimately fairly inconsequential in the overall story, but I just love the vibe of it. It adds a lot, but the girl at the window just feels goofy. It doesn't, like you say, it doesn't add anything. And I'm glad that didn't make the broadcast version. I feel like it ruins that scene. And I mean, also when it comes to special editions for the Seventh Doctor, when you hear those words, you think Curse of Fenric mainly and Battlefield. Those are the two quintessential special editions almost of the entire Doctor Who range. That and Day of the Daleks, which is, so far that's its own thing entirely. But with Battlefield and Curse of Fenric, I feel like I can never watch the broadcast versions now.
Yeah.
I have to sit there and watch those movie length versions. They become the definitive versions. And yeah, I was wondering before this, would these be, movie length special editions? Is that what they were going to go for? Which could have been interesting, but no, it is just still 4-part versions. Some scenes mixed around though a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, I found it weird how it revealed the special weapons Dalek way earlier than it should have, because they've sped up the footage
in a weird sped up, yeah,
to match the end music cue to get to that end point in the cliffhanger. And I think that's a thing where they've had to sort of really sort of cut it and splice it to make it work and fit.
It's like, yeah, the original may be a bit slow and goofy, but now it's just fast and goofy. It's not made it any less goofy. It's just made it goofy in a different way.
Yeah, it's like you could put the Benny Hill theme over those Daleks, and it'd be same effect, really. My one big criticism with the Remembrance special edition is it cut one of my favorite moments. Is now on BBC One, a new science pick. Like, it feels weird. Like, are we gonna go serious and just trying to cut that meta thing? But I think that's a nice little thing to have in Remembrance. It's the unofficial anniversary story. Have it in there.
It's no complications all over again. It's like no one was complaining about it. No one wanted it gone. It just, it seems bizarre to cut something. Sam says, I don't mind the special editions. If I don't like the effects, I'll go back and watch the original. Oh, yeah, that's completely fair. We complain, but the original is, still very much there.
Yeah, like this is just, if you fancy something a little bit different, it's a new way of seeing a story we've seen loads of times with a new pair of eyes.
Yeah, you've also got a lot of different options here, because you could just watch the original with the updated effects. You don't have to have those added scenes and re-edited order. I adore the special weapons Dalek effect, how the whole, gun now lights up a bit before it blasts. I think moments like that, it gives you that much more oomph.
What did you think of the CGI Daleks?
They never stood out to me too much, to be honest.
Even the Supreme when he's melting away?
No, not particularly.
Okay, like the final confrontation. I thought that was a little bit.
Maybe I looked down my phone for that bit.
Oh, you might have been doom scrolling. Oh, I know what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing ever really stood out to me too badly though, the CGI ones. I think, so the one going up the stairs is probably the highlight of them. So I think that it probably helps that that's a darker scene as well.
Yeah, you can hide it a bit more.
On the whole, I think I'll probably be sticking with the original version. Probably original effects as well.
I think there's some nice tweaks, but I think overall, it's got to be the OG.
It'd be good to come back to at some point, but it's not replacing the original in my heart. Yeah, I suppose the one that's had the most extensive work done on it, though.
Yeah,
the one that probably feels closest to being a true special edition, sense of the word.
Yeah, I think this one is, like you said earlier, this is the Curse of Fenric and Battlefield and Day of the Daleks now, I feel. This is the definitive Happiness Patrol for me. I don't know about you, because you're very ropey on the Happiness Patrol.
I mean, yeah, it probably is the definitive, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to be watching it again anytime soon either way, so it doesn't make much difference to me which ones. I will say it is the most I've enjoyed the story. I'll still say I didn't enjoy it that much.
I think it makes way more sense having this stuff back in it.
I feel like it helps, particularly in part 1 with the Happiness Patrol member who's not happy being in the Happiness Patrol. Yeah, because now she actually gets a character introduction rather than just coming out.
Oh, is it Leslie Phillips?
Yeah.
Like, you get to explore sort of, that sort of dynamic with her and Ace now. Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, whereas in the original, she just sort of pops up with Ace, and you're like, well, where did that come from? But I still don't believe the world. Like, I think the updated CGI is nice, how it expands the scope of this story, it actually starts to feel a bit more like a proper city now, where it pans between the two. I like the edit they did with the public service announcement early on, like even in that little cafe, all the neon stuff all feels very dystopian Blade Runner-esque, doesn't it?
And seeing like the factories blow up.
Yeah.
You start to see more how it's not just a confined world now, which I like.
But I still feel like some parts of it are just too convenient. The way the Doctor just walks into all the important places, just entering the candy kitchen.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't like about that special edition. How you've got the Doctor and Ace go into the candy kitchen first, and then just going, let's leave. Like it kind of ruins that sort of initial reveal of like the Candyman in a way.
But even it just feels like moments like that are too convenient. It shrinks the world a bit. It's too easy to get around it, and it feels more like a play in some ways than a.
I mean, I guess it's all happening in a night, really. So got to be quick. I mean, I think the original idea for the story is going to be over like a couple of weeks, wasn't it?
Maybe that would work better.
Maybe.
But yeah, the way characters just sort of come and go in the story, like you got the blues player who with his harmonica.
I mean, that makes
who's just like, it's been wild, Doc. Gotta go after escaping the sewers with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ending should have been Helena just crying. Instead of like the ending we got. I think the Happiness Patrol was one you could have done a lot with the special edition. I love it, but it would have been great to really have played in like the noir aspect of it, like black and white, maybe like just the Happiness Patrol just being the pink of the only like color aspects you get of it. And maybe just the Candyman in color, that would be very neat.
Yeah, no, but like maybe that could have been interesting. Maybe that could have been another alternate version they could have given.
Well, that's that because I think the Happiness Patrol was meant to be like a noir, wasn't it? But it's one of those ones where you're like, oh, that would have been great if it was.
Moments of it sprinkled in. It tries to have it as an aesthetic at times, but yeah, on the whole, I just don't get it, I suppose.
Oh,
it's just a me thing. I'm not sure. I like the ending where the husband runs off with the Candyman. The subtext there is strong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That model shot as well.
That's great.
A model shot. Yeah, that's brilliant. That looks gorgeous in the special edition. Yeah, there are moments like that I enjoy. I think the strawberry surprise or fondant surprise.
Yeah, the fondant.
And you see that going after the Candyman in the tunnels. That's brilliantly done as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, moments like that really add a lot to the story, and you think, wow, they worked hard on that special edition. Yeah, I can't do that. I think everything special edition wise does work for me. It's just the base story still doesn't, and so
okay,
I can only enjoy it so much. I can appreciate the work that's been done. It's just you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter.
Wow.
Well, Hoovian said, excited to hear the Happiness Patrol thoughts. Are you still excited, Hoovian? Which side of the fence?
Better they're not now after you just crapped all on it.
Oh dear. Yeah, I want to like it. I want to like what it's going for. This society that's being forced to be happy and is more about the appearance of happiness than actual happiness. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like it hits that for me. It feels like a awkward early draft that needed a lot of work to make it work.
I mean, I liked the expansion of like the snipers, but you got the idea of, like, one was more of a trigger happy person. And like it was nice sort of character expansion. I think that's what I took away from it.
Yeah. I think sometimes scenes like that work better as a little clip uploaded to YouTube. than they do in the full context of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit like the 6-2 specials and the season 1 deleted scenes where you're like, yeah, they make 0 sense. I'm glad they're cut.
Yeah. Oh, not just that, but the whole story in general. Like even deleted, just any scenes that you could take out of context and upload to YouTube, like YouTube has done already. I think they almost feel more entertaining there in isolation than they do as part of the story. It's it's some good parts, but as a whole, with the lesser parts mixed in, it doesn't come together for me.
Okay.
I love the Happiness Patrol, so if it's just a pink wig rolled in glitter, it makes it 10 times better. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Hoovian.
I mean, I managed to binge watch the Happiness Patrol, which is rare. So I had a good time with it.
I watched about a season of Buffy in between part 1 and part 3 of Happiness Patrol.
So many lives have been lived since you watched that there in between them.
Stars have been born and faded in between me watching Happiness Patrol part 1 and 3. Yeah, it's just never worked for me. I've tried it.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, my least favorite of the season. So it's only uphill from here.
Okay.
All right. How are your thoughts on Silver Nemesis then? Have you watched? Did you watch the full special edition, the 55-minute version, or both?
I watched the full special edition.
Yeah, same here. I've not gone back to the 55-minute version yet. Is it 55 or 50?
I think it's I think it's an hour, isn't it, or something like that.
Yeah, it's a shorter one.
I had a really good time with it.
Same. I think it's a fun one.
Especially part 1. I was like, you know what? Silver Nemesis, it gets a lot of hate. I don't get why. I had such a fun time. Adding the Cybermat back into it, that was a great little addition and made total sense.
It works so well, doesn't it? Like, you cannot tell that is new footage.
Yeah.
That design, I think, is particularly good.
I think they were used for more than 30 years in the TARDIS, I think, those Cybermats.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They were great. The extended battle in part 2, where you get to see the same soldier die twice, very exciting.
Yeah, you get a lot more bits of B-roll that work quite well in it.
I guess the whole sort of warehouse sequence of like Ace and the Cybermen, that's been extended a bit more, hasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
Going up the spiral staircase. That was a tense scene. That's all very well done.
Yeah. But then you get the weird moments with like the cyber leader and like the neo-Nazi, like them leaving like the little tomb area.
That was horrible. Everything to do with that tomb in terms of blocking, you just have characters, Cybermen, stood around not knowing what to do. There's no sense of threat whatsoever. Like,
yeah, they just come in and go in, and you can see why that was cut.
Yeah, I just wonder how it was even shot like that. It just like run out the tomb, and then you just see him casually walking with a Cyberman behind him, and the subordinate is just like, "Haha, I tricked you. I'm actually working with the Cyberman, even if I just ran out the." It's funny.
And it's not even that far in distance as well. Just literally by the door. You're like, oh.
The cyber leader just comes out and is like, "You have potential," and then he's not the one who even gets converted afterwards. And then the conversion just, yeah, it feels like it was written as it went along. It all builds up quite nicely in part 1, the story, as the different factions converge on the Nemesis itself. It just feels like it doesn't have a clue what to do with them after that, because then they're all coming and going from the Nemesis constantly. They're each getting it. What was the point in bringing it over to Lady Painfault's tomb to then bring it back to the hangar? Like, I never questioned that. when watching the original for some reason. But now having seen the special edition, that question suddenly comes up. It's like, we're getting the deleted scenes back. I should be having less questions now, not more. It's a trip. It's wild. It's so bad that it's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I like the extra stuff they put in with like Lady Penfort and Richard sort of doing like the hiking thing. Like it's little moments where like, yeah, you can see that he's a duck out of water here, really.
Yeah.
A bit more.
I quite like Richard's character. Yeah. There's a moment where he's praying and saying, "Oh, I won't ever do anything bad again." You know, things along those lines. After, I think it's after he sees his tomb.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that sudden realization of mortality, making him realize all his bad deeds in the past and making him want to make up for them. You know, so it makes sense a bit more of his turn towards the end. Even because he starts off the story supposedly as quite a hard character who's killed lots of people. Well, not lots, but he's killed a few people.
I mean, they didn't scalp those skinheads, did they? They were quite tame by just taking their clothes and burning them, to be honest.
Yeah. That's another one. Like, what purpose did that whole section serve? I imagine that's cut in the 55-minute version. I love the American. They surely do, honey.
That's a bit of classic JNT stunt casting right there, isn't it?
It makes no sense. I don't know why it's in there, but at the same time, it's some of the most entertaining moments of the story.
There's a lot of fun to be had within it. It's just you've got to get through some awkward little bits.
What was the whole subplot with Windsor Castle?
Like, there's way more Windsor, isn't there, in the special edition, isn't it?
Yeah, like it actually makes sense a bit more now because you see how they, you know, escape from it. Because before it just looks like they're getting captured, interrogated, and the Doctor's like, "Oh, this is no use. They're not going to help us. Let's go." And then it's almost as if they're just allowed to leave. Whereas the special edition incorporates some scenes back into that, which now makes it make sense. But also still makes it just feel weirdly pointless. It's like it's just there to get Windsor Castle in, isn't it? Get that cameo from.
I think it was trying to appeal for overstates, wasn't it? Because I think there was like a deal, wasn't there? Because they did like that making of, was it like the PBS network or something?
It went out in the States before it went out over here, didn't it? Because they did it all in one on the 23rd. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's a wild one.
It's wild, but I tell you what, I had an absolute hoot with it.
I feel like it suffers from being a very similar plot to Remembrance, just 2 stories ago.
Yeah, I think it highlights that, doesn't it? A lot.
Yeah,
more.
you've even got Ace saying, just like you defeated the Daleks. I mean, it's interesting seeing expansions on the chess game when you know about the whole thing with Fenric there. I'm not quite sure how that's exactly. I mean, I suppose Fenric was the one who brought Lady Penfort to the present.
I thought it was he used down to like the blood magic, wasn't it? And they used the astrologer to calculate it, didn't they?
Or was it? Yeah. Or was that what they were led to believe, and it was Fenric doing it for them? Because he obviously time storm that brought Ace to, you know,
true.
Place in Dragonfire.
True.
And that seemed an awful lot like a time storm. So did he have a hand in that as well? Because that makes sense of the chess set there, rather than just apparently being a chess set. It must be like
it's got to be like
maybe the chess set is like his calling card.
Yeah, maybe.
So like that's why the Doctor references it, rather than Fenric just randomly was playing chess there at some point. It's, you know, that was his way of telling the Doctor, I sent Lady Penfort there. I had this. Because otherwise, it's sort of hard to tell exactly what Lady Penfort's meant to be.
Yeah, because there's a deeper relationship there with the Doctor, isn't there? Like the Nemesis is designed
just a woman from the 16th century.
Hmm.
Well, I'm back. Welcome back, Stylish One. Where are we? We are on Silver Nemesis.
Hmm. I love how we've probably spent more time on Silver Nemesis than the big special edition Happiness Patrol. It's the really
more to say.
Yeah, I think there is with Silver Nemesis.
So I think with the Happiness Patrol special edition, it's just, well,
it's neat.
The effects are pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. Whereas I guess Silver Nemesis, there's a lot more going on in it.
There's more to unpack.
Yes.
More to be confused by and dumbfounded by.
But still really like it at the same time. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the weak ones of the season for me. But I can still stick it on and enjoy it, as weird as it is. It's a hard one to say how I feel about, because it's very naff.
I see the flaws.
Yeah.
But I can brush them over and be like, I'm just having a really fun time with it.
There are times where there are big flaws, and then and it's just like always cringeworthy to look at. But then other times where I'm just laughing at it. Other times I'm laughing with it. I'm all over the place with this one.
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly, it almost feels like it has a Last Day reference in it.
I mean,
foreshadowing when he's talking to the Nemesis, and the Nemesis is like, "When can I have my freedom?" And he's like, "When the job is done." So almost as if, you know, that's the end goal of the Seventh Doctor, is, you know, that universe where he's in control of everything, like in The Last Day, which is kind of wild in hindsight now.
I mean, I kind of wish the Nemesis was in The Last Day, actually.
Yeah, because that would make sense of that.
But what a weird thing to sort of base your story off the Silver Nemesis. If that's your foundations, you know it's going to be a bit of a rocky ride. But I had more fun watching Silver Nemesis than I did even listening to all of the Last Day.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quarter of the length, so that probably helps a bit.
I mean, I'll watch all of the Silver Nemesises before revisiting Last Day.
Yeah. It's almost a farce. It's almost a comedy, isn't it? The way all the characters turn up at the end to claim the Nemesis. It feels like if that had been written intentionally in a way that it could have been both comedy and serious, would have been better. Because you got that weird moment where Ace is like, "I'm scared, Doctor." "Oh, Ace, do you want to go back to the TARDIS?" "No chance." It feels almost... It's worse than Chibnall doing a "here's an emotional moment, back to the story." It's worse than
Yeah.
It's so awkwardly thrown in there. It just feels very out of character for Ace. Yeah. I mean, you got the Nazis in there. Again, we're dealing with fascism for the second time this season, but we're not having nearly as much to say about it. Yeah, there's a lot to dislike, but somehow it gets away with a lot of it because it's just so bad it's fun. Yeah, I really do not know what to think of this one still. Special editions just confuse me even more.
Oh, I love it. I feel like I love it even more. I feel like it's one of those stories that, as a kid, there was a lot of mystery around it because it was quite a late DVD, and it's that sort of, oh, I really want to experience that because it's McCoy and Cybermen, and then like the clips you'd see on like YouTube of like the big fight, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be great, and then you watch it, and it's like it's not as good as that, but you know what, it's fun.
It's not a boring bad, says Sam. You know, that perfectly sums it up. It doesn't drag at all. It's not boring, but yeah, it's maybe a bit bad. But season 25 having the Daleks and Cybermen Eps have Nazis in is kind of funny to me. Yeah, it's mad how much Silver Nemesis gets away with for being in the same season as season 25. Like, surely someone must have been looking at these scripts thinking, we're doing a lot here.
But that's the vibe we're going for. Or maybe JNT was busy abroad at conventions, just sunning himself and just like, Andrew, sort it out. Not my issue.
I mean, the way that this writer got the gig to write the 25th anniversary story, having no prior Doctor Who experience,
it feels wild.
Requirement. But him just saying, like, apparently goes into the interview or pitch or whatever, having not really thought about it, and then just goes, "The Doctor is God." It just perfectly sums up whatever the hell this story is.
And then I guess that spawned the archetype for the Virgin New Adventures.
Yeah,
it's kind of where the Wilderness Years latches onto these ideas that are set down here, really.
Yeah, that concept of the other, which are also hinted at in Remembrance as well.
Yeah.
But even more so strongly here, it's like Ace seems to know somehow that there's more to the Doctor there. But yeah, and then just it's a flute rendition of the theme at the end.
I love that. That's great. I'm a big fan.
Get a kick out of it.
It's Devil's Chord, but better. Love it.
Should have gone into the end credits.
Literally. Better than There's Always a Twist. My goodness.
Just a little wink at the audience.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that again, just wild. I don't get how this is an anniversary story. It's so odd. I mean, yeah,
Silver's in the title.
Yeah. I mean, the way the Cybermen are incorporating it makes it feel more like an anniversary story than a Cyberman story. Because they're sort of playing a similar role to what they do in the Five Doctors. They're not the main antagonist, but they're still a pretty big antagonistic force throughout it.
Yeah.
It's like, I suppose Lady Painful is more of the main antagonist, but she disappears for most. Well, she doesn't disappear for most of part 3. She's got her own subplot in part 3.
Yeah.
She surely does.
She surely does.
She surely does. That whole scene.
That's your biggest takeaway from the box set. I'm going to get you a t-shirt with that later on. And surely does, honey. I'm sure there's a Redbubble design of that.
Who knows? But, I'm curious to see how the 55-minute version works, because maybe this is what will benefit from being cut down, having some of that more irrelevant fluff being cut. I did see someone out on Twitter say this was the wrong decision. They should instead cut all the plot and just have it be the irrelevant stuff.
It's just Cybermen listening to jazz.
Yeah.
This is meaningless.
Oh, that's a funny addition as well. The way that while Ace and the Doctor are walking / running, I can't remember which, towards the little castle, the tape gets knocked, doesn't it? And so the music is playing, and then the Cybermen are able to contact their fleet. Oh, speaking of their fleet, how good did that look?
Really good.
That's gorgeous stuff. It's a nice callback to the 60s almost, isn't it? It's that invasion.
Yeah, like the invasion,
Yeah, it feels shiny and new, but also retro and right for the season. It doesn't stand out in a bad way.
Yeah, it's like they've put like a video grain filter over it, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it still hits really hard. That might be my favorite new effect of the whole lot, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, gorgeous stuff.
That or the special weapons gun, I think, like you said.
Yeah,
it's got to be between those.
Touches. It's the little things that I say little things. That's not that fleet was not a little thing.
No, it's
that took a fair bit of work, I imagine. Yeah. Ooh, shall we put a pin in Silver Nemesis?
Yeah.
Put a gold coin in it, and instead talk about the greatest show in the galaxy. We're back to a 4-parter. This is probably the one that's benefited the least from a special edition.
There's not much new, is there?
Yeah, there's only so much they could do. again, it's a case of the original's pretty good. It doesn't necessarily need it. It feels like they mainly did it because
they were doing the rest.
Stories were getting one. So yeah, it just they wanted that whole thing of the whole season's getting a special edition version. It's one that I think maybe could have benefited from being a movie version the most. Yeah, with the scenes at the back end. Bit. Because it's more just an extended part 1 and part 2.
I think isn't there like a little bit in part 4?
No, part 3. Sorry.
Oh, part 3.
It's part 1 and part 3 are the ones that have footage added back in. I think no, I don't think part 2 and 4 are changed at all. Except the updated special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That all works pretty well. Yeah, again, similar to Remembrance, though, a lot of these extensions to the scenes didn't necessarily do much for me. Yeah, I don't. I think a lot of it you look at, you think, yeah, it's understandable why that was cut. It wasn't necessarily cut just for time. It was also cut because it didn't quite work or didn't need to be there. Yeah, I think. Yeah, with a lot of McCoys, it feels like whole plots get half cut from these stories and then they end up making no sense. But when it comes to Remembrance and Greatest Show in the Galaxy, they're completely comprehensionable as they are.
Yeah.
I mean, another niggle I have about this special edition is nothing to do with the special edition itself. It's to do with the navigation of the DVD or Blu-ray, the disc.
Yeah, it's oddly formatted, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't do individual parts. You have to go play all and then do play all special edition. And then you have to skip to the right episode to find the bit you're at if you've started and then stopped. So it's, why not just do a movie version if you're going to make the easiest way to watch it, do it all in one? Yeah,
no.
That was bizarre. Or just, have it like they do for some of the other extended episodes. Like, the extension of Black Orchids. Have it as an option in the episode selection.
Yeah.
Because I don't think part 2 and 4 on the special edition are anything different from part 2 and 4 of the broadcast version if you select updated special effects. I think it's the same thing that plays. So yeah. But I suppose it's just, again, they wanted that whole tag of everything's
all there.
Edition. Yeah. I mean, Greatest Show in the Galaxy has a story, though. Bloody brilliant. I love it. I can't get enough of
it. It's one of those sort of McCoy, because it's quite a late DVD, so we're not that familiar with it. So it's almost like a new.
It's been out 10, 15 years.
Yeah, but it's not been revisited as much as, a Remembrance or, a sort of an Nemesis.
Yeah. It's not got your dark side embedded, so it's not one you were as likely to gravitate towards as a child.
Yeah. I liked the new model shot of like the junk mail, flying towards the TARDIS. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. Bits like that work all right. I think, some of the TARDIS scenes are extended a bit as well, aren't they? Yeah, I think there's a neat joke there that I've forgotten.
I think it was like the apple, wasn't it, when he's juggling?
No, that was in there, the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although that's got a nice setup of things don't just disappear. Does she ever find her rucksack?
I don't think she does.
Does it turn up? Is it? I can't remember if it's in season 26 on. No, surely it's in Battlefield.
I think it probably is. She's got it in Curse of Fenric because she pulls the ladder out of it.
Oh yeah, she does, doesn't she? That would have been a wild thing if it doesn't appear again. It just suddenly gets lost at some point in Greatest Show in the Galaxy and then never gets found. Although that also wouldn't make sense. Greatest Show in the Galaxy was meant to be the second story of the season. which is why you can see Flower Child's earring during Silver Nemesis and
on the jacket,
yeah. Just tiny wiminess now. Maybe that could have helped me get through this season quicker if I did it.
Yeah,
instead of sticking to broadcast order.
Yeah, that might have helped.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been as high a point for an ending because it is this wonderful. It has so much to say.
Yeah,
it's wonderful circus aesthetic, and then on top of that, you've got a very meta commentary on Doctor Who itself, but also, the entertainment industry in general and art in general about how, these big shareholders and corporations look to squeeze creativity out of people without ever understanding it. They are just there to get those ratings, to get those figures, to look at something and be either entertained or cancel it straight off. It's like we were saying earlier about
it all goes full circle.
It's almost more relevant today than it was then, and there's very much that attitude of forcing these people to work until they have nothing more to offer. It's not simply a farm to be squeezed. These creative people in the industry aren't there just to be used. They're not a resource. They are people. They are artists who should be able to do what they love, create what they love, not be forced by some algorithm or whatever to do something that they don't want to. It's got so much to say on that, and then obviously layered on top of that, you've got the whole commentary on where Doctor Who's at the moment. I know it's not as good as it used to be, but I'm still terribly interested, as WizKid says.
Because WizKid is the Doctor Who fan, isn't it? He is the archetype look of a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, he's pretty much got the McCoy cosplay.
Pretty much, yeah. The little V-neck jumper. Bow tie, like he's a little Matt Smith with his little bow tie and David Tennant spiky hair.
I mean, we were talking about how awkward some of the extras or background characters or just blocking in general was in Silver Nemesis. Yeah. How characters would just be awkwardly stood there for scenes where they should really be moving about or doing something, just not there. But Greatest Show in the Galaxy, everything feels like it has a purpose.
It's meticulously placed, I feel, isn't it?
Yeah. The robotic clowns are brilliant. I don't think they get enough love because they're very much an understated detail in the background.
You're too busy focused on Chief Clown, aren't you, more than anything?
He is absolutely brilliant, and we will get to him. But, moment of appreciation for the robots, because like the scene in the little trailer where Ace is locked up. Yeah, I think it is part 3, where they slowly start to move. How still they were standing before that is bloody impressive. And it's so creepy. It's one of the scenes that still gives me chills to this day.
I think as well, because there's this tacky nature to them, like this 80s cheapness to them. That makes them almost scary as well.
Yeah. There's this one behind Captain Cook during the big Mags transformation scene, who the Doctor, calls him a huge bore. And then obviously you're looking at Captain Cook being offended by this, but the clown in the background's just got his hand over his mouth, like I can't believe you just said that. It's brilliant. Like, it's such little detail, especially at this point where, these things would have been going out once, then eventually getting a VHS release by this point, they knew. But it's a detail that didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
But it is, and I love them for that.
Yeah, it's making the most of what you got, isn't it?
Yeah. Like you say, everything's meticulously planned. It all has a place there. Like, this clown's not just there to be window dressing. It is almost the character in its own right. Yeah. It's brilliant. I mean, Captain Cook, I think he's pretty strong character as well. When he comes back from the dead, that's particularly creepy.
Yeah, it's a lot better than Richard Briers of Coagnon.
Yeah, that's very true. Just so many interesting lines he has there. He's one of the ones who gets a bit more to do in the special edition. Like, a lot of it's just extended versions of scenes we already know.
Yeah.
And I feel like they almost play better cut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit more of a pace to them there. And I mean, yeah, like you said, Chief Clown, such a brilliant character, brilliant performance. That wonderful voice. It's Ian Reddington, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the physicality there, the little gestures. Yeah.
There's such a duality there between the character and the look. Yeah,
I think even like the Undertaker look, that's really quite sinister in its own right.
Yeah, the fact that he's still got your mixing. There's a clown there.
Yeah,
with the Undertaker look on top, rather than simply just stripping all the clown makeup off.
Because it's such a juxtaposition of something quite sad, and then you've got this happy thing that's meant to be happy, goofy, cheery thing, isn't it, to cheer you up?
Yeah. I mean, there was that Big Finish audio called The Psychic Circus, which was rather mixed, but I did like that detail of him being a previous janitor at the Paradise Towers before becoming the Chief Clown. It's a funny little addition to the lore there.
That's only 5 years old, that one now.
Yeah, it is. Gosh.
Before times.
Yeah, that was February 2020 as well.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah. That was the last trilogy pre-COVID.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, Chief Clown, brilliant. All the clowns, brilliant. All the characters in this have a part to play.
Even Mags.
Yeah. The less said about her trilogy, the better. But
yeah, she's not got a good trilogy.
No, she's a great character, though.
Yeah, she's great. I do like Mags, and you can see there is potential there for her to be a companion.
Yeah. I think that Deadbeat was quite interesting. It's funny hearing Ace talk about how she knew people like him back in Perivale. Again, it's making her a more relatable real world character.
I think this sort of starts the arc for season 26, doesn't it? This story in particular. Because it's the Doctor starting to test her a little bit. Going, oh, you don't like clowns? They're just kids, aren't they? Scary for kids.
Yeah, it's almost like a pre-Ghost Light, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to get things in place for that season, isn't it?
But at the same time, he's not going into this with some grand master plan. He's not, let's Psychic Circus, let's go and investigate. He's very much just there for a good time. He's like, I want to take part in the talent contest. This is the Doctor I prefer, the one who stumbles into these situations and then has to fumble his way through it and sort it out by the end. I think I much prefer this approach to the story. I don't think I'd like it as much if it was, right, we're going to investigate, second act, something weird's been going on there. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do.
Yeah.
It's much better as let's just go have a fun time at the circus. Oh, shit.
Eat some dodgy fruit.
Clowns. Yeah.
Is there no end to you weirdos?
Okay, she's got a part to play in the meta commentary as well, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's the general public, for better or for worse.
When Doctor Who fans
she's Stephen
need
Noonan's grandmother. Yeah, we all know a character like that in real life, don't we?
Yeah.
We all have to sit opposite them at family dinner and pretend to care.
Yeah, especially when it's like Christmas Day and you're like, just let me enjoy my little silly show, please.
Yeah, I mean, just so much to love about Greatest Show in the Galaxy for me. I mean, what about you? What moments stand out? Why do you feel about it in general? Are you in love with it as much as I am? The things that hold it back for you?
I don't. I like it, but there's something that holds it back. Like I really loved it when I first watched it, and I was like, "This is amazing. This is really good." But watching it back this time, I'm like, "It's good," but yeah, I'd rather watch Silver Nemesis.
It's top 3 McCoy for me. It's
I can see that. I can see
and
that.
Curse of Fenric.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, something we didn't quite say about Silver Nemesis that I've just been reminded of. I think Delta and the Venom does that kind of story better. It's got a similar vibe to it with the.
I see. Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
it feels more intentional in that story. I mean, where are you sitting on Delta and the Bannerman at the moment? Because I know you used to be a big fan of it, and then
I loved it. I loved it when we did our McCoy watch. And I think that was the big takeaway that might be the best of the season.
Yeah, I still feel that way.
Yeah, Dragonfire is still the worst.
Yeah, I know. Dragonfire and not Paradise Towers. Time in the Rani are the 2 poor ones for me in season 24, and then Paradise Towers and Delta and Abandonment are 2 that really work.
Oh, so I can't stand Paradise Towers.
Yeah, I know you can't.
Yes, yeah, not a fan of that one.
Yeah, I feel like that's got a similar vibe to Greatest Show in the Galaxy for me. Although Greatest Show in the Galaxy is more well refined. Yeah, and then you got, obviously we were comparing Delta and Silver Nemesis as having a similar vibe there as well. Yeah, and then Dragonfire and Happiness Patrol. They're sort of the.
Here we go. He's ragging on Happiness Patrol. God, you're a killjoy, aren't you?
Yeah, proud of it. Up the killjoys.
Oh, here we go.
The story invites criticism.
Oh, gonna get Fifi chasing you down a pipe soon.
Oh, that was quite creepy actually in the special edition. The way she runs down that pipe.
Yeah, this little scuttle.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, Ben hates Paradise Towers. Luke hates Happiness Patrol. How could you both?
I don't know, but we have to live with that.
But
pain.
On the opposite side of that coin, we both love the other one. So, you got that.
We cancel each other out.
Yeah. More Mags content, Big Finish is what we deserve. I feel like they're giving up on Mags. I think they know that one didn't go down well.
They saw it and they're like, yeah, maybe this is another Beyond the Ultimate Adventure. We'll just leave it as a failed experiment.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to say about Greatest Show or any of these stories now?
It's a great show.
Is it the greatest in the galaxy?
No.
Mags and Ray box set. Oh yeah, they're giving Ray a go now, aren't they? With their faithful friends as well.
Yeah, that's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder
if Ray's going to be the companion for McCoy next year then.
That's what I was thinking. Are they doing it similar to Constance? Where you get a story during her travels first, like in the last adventure in this big box set. And then you go back and
you get the introduction.
Or reintroduction, I suppose.
Yeah, in this case.
Yeah. So,
Are we going to get the return of the Bannermen?
Maybe
like a whole sort of Delta and the Bannerman reunion box set.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if this is her only story back as a companion and she's not even on the cover.
That would suck.
Yeah. I feel like there's got to be more plans for Ray.
I mean, Big Finish later sort of released stuff early, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to do it again.
Yeah,
we've done it with a Fendal, and I'm sure there's other examples, isn't there?
Yeah. I think luckily this time with the monsters, at least, they've announced it close enough to the actual release that I don't think anything's going to be slipping in there before Relatane.
Yeah.
The one thing that could, but I wouldn't be bothered by, is if Lupari pop up in Future Doctor.
I could see that.
and they're both out the same month, so it might never come out before.
Yeah, doesn't really matter.
But in terms of the crew, and Monks are definitely safe.
Yeah.
I think Harry and Naomi next year finishing that arc, then 2026 Ray. Maybe. Yeah, I think we do deserve more Harry and Naomi.
Yeah,
now that we finished with the Fourth Doctor.
Yeah, it was one of our takeaways from that series.
Yeah. But at the same time, I do just want a good old Ace box set.
Yeah, we've not had one really, have we?
Yeah.
In the relaunch.
TV McCoy feel.
Unless it's Ace and Ray.
Yeah.
And that becomes like the new Ace and Mel.
Yeah, that's another one they gave up on, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now they're sort of awkwardly undone by the TV series, but at the same time, it's kind of canon to The Last Day, so who knows? I mean, not kind of, it must be canon to The Last Day because you've got Quantum Possibility Engine in there.
Yeah, that being referenced, yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, it's best not to get hung up on canon these days.
Yeah,
it never was.
Like what you like, just what you like, you know.
Yeah. If you think Happiness Patrol didn't actually happen, then good for you.
Are you talking about yourself there?
I will accept it as canon. I won't like it, but I'll accept it as canon. I'll give it that.
Well done. That's great. That's the main takeaway.
I feel like you're a therapist now.
I am. I feel like it. Get you on a chaise longue and like, where does it go wrong?
Where did Happiness Patrol go wrong for you?
When did you become a killjoy?
Oh
dear, dear.
You gotta be there stroking Fifi while you're doing this. Is Fifi gonna be like the like they do those pet therapies, don't they?
Yeah, like
where you like stroke dogs to feel better.
Yeah, hopefully you can get some love for Fifi, and then you're like, you know what, maybe it's not so bad. This weird rat dog.
And then she would go and take a bite out of me.
Yeah, if you say something unkind. You know, it's gonna.
But that's not therapy. That's threatening.
Shh, it all works.
It's brainwashing me into liking it.
You all like it.
This is very apt for the story. Being forced to be happy when I'm really not. Put on a fake smile.
Oh dear, dear.
Fifi from Dimensions in Time icon, says Invisible Collection.
Total slay.
Pop up there as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Fifi's in like the window. I think of like the pub.
Oh, I suppose you do have a load of monsters popping up, don't you? So yeah,
I think it's everything in the prop cupboard.
Something they could find, from the prop cupboard in there.
I'm like, that'll do. But that's season 25.
Yeah, been nice having a chat about, isn't it? Special editions, seeing what they had to offer, where our opinions are similar and differing. Yeah, sorry, go on.
To go back to like I guess our main question: is it a good box set? Is it the best yet?
Yeah.
Because I think if you haven't got any of the collection sets, I think this is a good example of what you should check it out, really.
Yeah, because sometimes it's hard to separate the stories from the box set, isn't it? The new package. Yeah. Particularly when there's only 4 of them, when it's only 14 episodes.
Yeah.
There's some other seasons you can get where you get a lot more there.
Like season 20, I think that's become it's either that or season 25. I feel like a good sort of box set to get a flavor. I think season 20, though a weaker season, the special features are just worth it alone. Like the road trip I think that's my favorite of all the new features.
Isn't it? Such a simple one, but it works so well.
Yeah. Again, it's not. I guess it's like we're looking for. It's not really Doctor Who, but it's got Doctor Who actors in there, so we're there watching it. It's just the end goal by going to a convention. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Looking back at 15, I think 25 is definitely the one to pick up off the two
of this year.
Yeah, like not just story wise, but also in terms of what you get in addition to that. Because like in terms of special editions, there's only updated special effects on Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah.
That set. And to be honest, they're sort of a bit take it or leave it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think in terms of quality upgrades as well, this one's got a pretty solid one. Yeah, sad. Yeah, I'd say it is probably the best one we've had in recent years. Yeah, but then you look at something like season 9, you think, wow, those stories are amazing.
Yeah.
Even something like season 2, you really don't get that much in terms of extra features.
It's spread thin, isn't it? It's so sparse on that set.
Yeah. But there's still a lot of episodes to watch there. So it depends what you're going into these for, really. If you're someone who's never picked up classic Doctor Who and you're thinking of getting this, it's probably a decent place to start, really. Particularly with Remembrance, at the very least. Yeah.
But I think the McCoy sets are probably the ones you should go for with just how many options you've got.
Yeah. In terms of expanding what you had from the DVDs as well. If you're someone who's collected a DVD range and you want more, the McCoy ones, this one in particular has more. It has stuff that you couldn't have on the DVDs.
Yeah.
Whereas, say, season 2, you could have all the DVDs and more or less have the same satisfaction of it. I think there's definitely some stuff you'd be missing out on. But I don't know whether it would cover the difference between getting all the DVDs and getting the Blu-ray. Yeah, although that is now out on, or is coming out on standard edition.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so that's at least a cheaper option there. Yeah, I mean, will they stay at 55 quid or will it go up again now?
It'd probably go up, wouldn't it? Because I think they were 39 when they started.
Yeah, they were.
And then it went to, I think 2021, it was like 45.
And
I think season 2 jumped because of like so much, but like you're like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, we thought, okay, you've got a 9th disc. We'll let you off.
You can be cheeky.
Yeah. You might not have much on the discs, but you've
got that extra disc.
Yeah, it's a bit thicker on the shelf at least. But then they kept that price for season 9, didn't they?
Well, yeah, I'm sure we'll tier list the collection sets as a whole eventually.
Yeah, I mean, what do you feel like is your favourite at the moment? Which one offers the most to you? Which one's the one you
I feel like it's got to be one of the Davisons. I think season 19, just because of the film insert, so you really get to see the benefits of Blu-ray. You get new features about the making of like Castrovelva, Black Orchid, Earthshock's great.
Yeah, that had 4 of them, didn't it?
Yeah, so I think that's like your classic DVD set, but with the Blu-ray touch to it. I feel.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think season 23 did a lot for me in terms of improving how I view that season. Like that extended version.
That's got some nice little things, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Vervoids and Cookbook.
Yeah, special edition of Vervoids is brilliant as well. And that it almost gives you a whole new Colin story, really. Yeah. But yeah, looking at what else it has. I don't know if that season still does enough for me. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's a hard one. give Brimble. Because I'm often more drawn to the Pertwee ones. They're already quite extensively covered on the DVD. So often it is just the picture upgrades, and then you just got really good stories with those ones, which obviously helps.
Yeah, I still think season 8 is my favorite artwork. For me.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. Yeah, I mean, if it is truly going to be 7 Up next, that is going to be an artwork to look forward to.
I'm going to be curious. Are we going to get Pertwee Shower on the disc? I hope so. Because we've got the cleaning lady from Green Death
instead.
Oh, probably will, won't they?
Or what will he be holding? That's the question. Shower cap? Maybe that'd be their way of being a bit more PG. Oh, you know what they'd have to do? They'd have to zoom out a bit, have him in the shower scene, but then have the explosion of monsters covering a more sensitive area.
You see, that would be great.
Sensory.
Sign me up for that. That's like a convention exclusive. Like, mail away. You can get that exclusive artwork. I'll have a poster of that. I'll have that. Hang it in the Louvre.
What or the caving gear.
Yeah. I can see that maybe that photo of like him and the brig like doing that up against the wall. That'd be good for like the disc art.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because the only really place you could stick the forest, the TARDIS would be in the forest for the outer shell bit of it.
Yeah, the police box.
Yeah, the police box in the woods, because you never really see it anywhere else in season 7.
It's only like the lab, isn't it, in Spearhead as well?
Yeah. Yeah, the TARDIS never. Yeah, is that the only time you see the TARDIS proper tool? I think so.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's the console.
Yeah, it's the console and ambassadors.
And
then it's the shed.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the shed's going to be like the Moti or the disc art.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do something different for the title. The menu screen. Will that be just a generic TARDIS interior? Because we never see them. Oh, stylish one is back. We're currently discussing what season 7 could be like presentation-wise.
I would quite like if they did the Inferno shed and like you go through like the shelves and it's like maybe a few little Easter eggs and then you've got Bessie.
Yeah.
Like a render of Bessie. That would be neat.
That would work. Oh, imagine if for each disc it was all set in the parallel universe. And as you make your way through, the lava's getting closer until you get to the final disc.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
I mean, we're going way
eye patches.
We're going way too high concept with this. But...
if it's not that, I don't want it.
Yeah.
When do you think that'll get announced? When do you think the next collection set will be announced?
Yeah, because we didn't get anything on 23rd.
No, we got War Games.
War Games in colour.
Which is close to it.
Yes, I wonder if it maybe be someone in January now.
I'm thinking that because I think all focus is going to be on Joy to the World/Worlds, possibly. I think that's what the focus is going to be on at the minute.
Yeah. So I think they're going to let that be the focus for now.
Yeah, I think 15 leaked in January, didn't it?
Yeah, that came around quite quick, didn't it?
It
was January, and then that came along March. Yeah.
And that makes sense. March, Pertwee month.
Yeah. Although season 7, you almost feel more even earlier in the year, don't you?
January.
Yeah, January, February time.
Imagine that, a quick turnaround, like it's announced and it's out like for next week or something. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. And you've also got is there going to be another animation announced? When will that be? If it is happening, I feel like with
we
those
had
they
Smugglers.
have a lot more leeway, don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, that's all announced those, and it'll be 7-8 months before you see that.
Yeah, I mean, there's many questions, but still exciting.
For now, we're in that unusual dark stage, aren't we? Where we've just had a recent set. I mean, it's been a month now.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what's next. I mean, there was once a time where we didn't have that. They were announcing the next set before the current
like a week before, wasn't it?
Because, yeah. Usually because it got delayed.
Yeah.
Thankfully, those days seem to be behind us now.
Yeah.
Speaking of announcements, are we getting a Lady Christina review? When it goes on sale, we shall pick it up. We have.
I mean, isn't there like a Sontaran Black Friday? So maybe.
Yeah, if
it's part of that. If it's part of that and it's on sale, we'll pick it up and we'll review it. Whether it's a Christmas special or whether we do it as a pre-record, we don't know. We've got to buy it first.
Do it as a live. I think we got.
Okay, we'll do it as a live. We'll do it as a live stream.
We can't not at this point.
Yeah, if it's on sale this weekend, we'll buy it.
I don't know if we'll get to time for Christmas. We've got a lot of listening to.
You have. I'm actually up to date.
Ooh, are you now?
Muse of Fire. I've done that.
Yeah, we're doing a Muse of Fire review for a little throwback leading into Deadly Strangers. There is a tenuous connection now, we promise.
Yeah.
Hunting Ground's another one for Iceland.
Yeah.
I started that.
I've listened to that.
How much of The Doctor and Kanaki have you done? Have you finished that one?
Finished it.
Well. I'm still only halfway through.
Well, let's see. But the tables have turned. You were waiting for me for most of the year. Now I'm like got my shit together.
You done Blazing Hour?
No. But I've got it mostly done.
September. That was I listened to that ages ago.
To be fair, I've done a fair bit.
We have got one more throwback recorded that's yet to come out. We did the Fate of Krelos and Return to Telos for a Fourth Doctor throwback. So yeah, that's something to look forward to in the coming days or weeks or so. It'll come out at some point before the end of the year. Yeah, we are.
Definitely.
We're committing. We're doing all our throwbacks, all our box set reviews of the bundle by the end of the year. And then there's another little treat there as well, isn't there? To come.
Is there?
Yeah, it was your idea.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. that'd be cool. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Lots to look forward to as the year goes on. We're nearly December now.
Yeah, we did enjoy the Lady Christina video, stylish one. That
was brilliant. Yeah, we will share that. When...
That might be the intro for the stream.
We'll definitely
because we will do it. We will do it. We will do it. We will honor it.
Yeah, as long as it goes on sale sometime soon, it'll either be our Christmas stream or our April Fool's stream. We'll get to it. Which, I mean, we plan ahead for these things.
We do.
But yeah, I think either way, we'll be doing one more stream this year. We'll close out the year with our Christmas stream. So yeah, we'll see you all then. And lots of pre-record videos are still to come.
Yeah. So we ain't stopping yet.
No. So thank you all for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I surely did.
Sure thing, honey.
We'll see you all next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.